Welcome back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. We are back with another episode. Football season's right around the corner. This will be our official AFC predictions for the season, going from week 1 all the way up to the Super Bowl. On the AFC side of things, we'll have a part 2 showing off the NFC side of things with the same kind of format, going through each division, top to bottom, kind of giving us our 2 cents to talk about each division going into the season. But joined here with Nick, Cole, Connor. How we doing?
Yeah.
Good. So ready for football.
Back in the saddle.
Yes, sir, man.
So what division do you guys want to start with?
Get the shit out of the way, AFC South.
Yeah. Start with the really bad division.
AFC South?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whoever wants to start.
I'll go first. We're starting from the bottom up?
Yep.
So, in my unpredicted thing, I got the Jaguars in last at 1-16. Hear me out. I don't actually think they're going to go 1-16. But in this right now, they will be last. They'll get a couple wins, but I don't think they're going to be very good. It's just going to be another year for the Jaguars. They'll be picking in top 5 again. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's literally nothing wrong with that. Now I have the Colts in third. They didn't do too much better. They went 3-14. Now I think this actually could happen. The Colts are very weird. The Colts are a very weird team to me. Their defense doesn't really scream anything at me. Their offense is fucking awful. I want AR to be really good. I think he can. He has it in him. He has the potential and everything. He just can't. His incompletions are he's too inconsistent. He can only hit the deep ball. Everything else kind of sucks. But yeah, they have them doing really bad. I have the Titans getting second. I have them going 7-10. I think the Titans can actually be a really sneaky team. Not sneaky in the sense that they're going to probably get into the playoffs, but sneaky that they're going to be in a lot of games with Cam Ward. I'm really high on Cam Ward. I think he's going to be really good. He's got okay weapons around him. I think he can unlock Calvin Ridley again. I love Okonkwo at tight end. Pollard's probably going to rush for 1,000 yards like usual. It's just whatever that defense is going to do. But yeah, I think they can be really good. I think the Titans are in a good spot. And I have the Texans going 12-5, winning the division, undefeated in division. They get the 4 seed. I think this will be a really big bounce back for CJ, who didn't really have a good year last year, but he didn't really have a bad year. So they lose Tank Dell. You just replace him with Christian Kirk, basically the same person. Christian Kirk is actually even like a little bigger, I think. But yeah, that's basically all I got. I think the Texans easily just win the division.
Okay. I can go next. I have Indy 4. I think you have in Jacksonville with 1 win. It's just insane.
I said I have them at 1 win, but yeah. I don't actually think.
I think you're pushing alternate narratives.
I don't think they're actually gonna get.
We're pushing narratives here, man.
I don't think they're actually gonna get 1 win. I think they'll probably get at least 3.
At least 3.
So you still think they'll be last place though? Like even
probably. Yeah.
Respect.
I am not high on the Jaguars at all.
Okay. In fourth, I got the Colts. 4-13. I think it's going to be a mixed round of Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. I just think it's going to be all ugly all around. Tennessee, I got 6-10-1. You know, I had to sneak a tie in there. I think I have a tie with the Browns in like week 3. Ooh. Had to sneak one in there. Probably 6-11 though.
That's hilarious.
I had to sneak one in there. And then I have the Jags not going 1-16. I have them going 10-7, second in the division.
So yeah, we're just on the complete opposite.
Yeah, we're just on complete opposite sides. I think it's just going to be a bounce back year, coming off of last year. Adding Travis Hunter, obviously you have Brian Thomas in his second year. You did lose Evan Ingram, but Brenton Strange was their backup tight end, we've heard a lot of good things from around the league. So I think he'll be good. But I don't think they'll win the division. I do have the Texans winning. I also have them going 10-7, but they have the tiebreaker over the Jags. I think they'll be good. I don't think they're gonna like go up to that tier 1 team where we see like the Bills, Ravens, and Chiefs, and maybe even the Bengals at. But like, I still think it's enough to win this terrible division.
You can go ahead, Cole.
Yeah. First thing I want to touch back on this. I think you're out of your mind thinking that the Jaguars would even get last place when you got Trevor Lawrence and then year 2 Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, this is a guy who's going to be a top 10 receiver in the league. And then that's before whatever Travis Hunter you want to say he's going to be, because I don't know if I think Travis Hunter is going to be an all-pro player like some people do, like this early in his career, but he's at least going to add another layer to that offense and potentially that defense too. The Jaguars are a good team, but that's besides the point. Not even the one win. I know the scheduler, I will say the scheduler does, like, for example, if you ask me how much the team would win, I might say a number, and then going through all the games changes that. So the one win is one thing, but there's no way you can tell me that they're going to be worse than who I have at my fourth spot, the Indianapolis
I think
Colts.
they could easily get last. Again, the one win thing is don't write into
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I think the Colts, though, you got to look like
Colts are bad.
I don't think Anthony Richardson has shown anything that he can be a legitimate starting quarterback on a team. So when he's going up against Daniel Jones, I just think that's going to be a bad team. I like some of their weapons, but with the fall off of Michael Pittman, they don't really have that wide receiver one, at least proven yet. It could be something Pierce or Downs shows us. And they got who else? I'm forgetting one name in their weapons.
They got
JT.
They do have Jonathan.
Yeah, so I mean Jonathan Taylor's good, but I just don't see their passing game being enough. So I have them in fourth place. Third place, I got the Titans at 5-12. Cam Ward, I'm really high on him as well. Like you said earlier, but I haven't seen him play a game yet, and I don't think they're a very good team. I don't know how much I trust their head coach Callahan in year two. He didn't really show me he was a very good coach last year, to me at least. So I got them in third, and then I got the Jaguars at 7-10. I think it could be higher. I almost feel like I forgot about Brian Thomas Jr. for a second when I was doing this. And I think Trevor Lawrence will have a good bounce back year after the injury last year. Then in first place, like I think we'll have the Houston Texans. They might run away with it. It seemed like last year they struggled, still easily won the division. And I think they'll be a good team this year. I like their defense. I think C.J. Stroud's going to have a good comeback year. The Texans in first place at 12-5 for me.
So now that we're talking about the Jaguars, so what are your options on ETN? Because no one's brought up ETN yet.
I can bring up ETN.
You want to bring up ETN?
Yeah.
Now, as I was looking, I was like, wow, no one's really talking about Travis or Tank Bigsby.
So that's where I was gonna go with mine because nobody brought it up. So I have the Colts last. I just kind of same reasons. AR and Daniel Jones. I just don't really like that combination at all.
I don't think anybody does.
So like looking at that, I just don't believe in them as much. And then looking at the Titans, I am higher on Cam Ward. I do like him with the Titans, but I just think this is not a year where they have enough to really compete in the division like that on a serious level. Because I do think the defense is sneaky for Tennessee, but I also don't think they have enough offensively to like really compete. Like it even is like a softer division, but like rookie quarterback, there's going to be some bumps in the road. And like Cole said, Callahan, not highest on him as a coach. But when you look at Tennessee last year, like they probably should have won a couple more games, but because of Will Levis turning the ball over, doing something stupid, they put themselves in a position. I think they played the Vikings like really close, and then Will Levis just gave away the game.
He played us very close, and Will Levis gave away the game.
So they have the defense to be in a lot of games, and if Cam Ward can just put them over the top, I can see them winning a couple more games. But in terms of record-wise, I had them going 4-13. Obviously, it could be somewhere 6-10 range, but I have the Jags at 2. I have Jags 9-8. I think, like you said, Brian Thomas Jr., I could argue he's the best receiver in this division next year. And I think ETN.
No, not over Nico.
I think you could argue back end of the year. Could argue
by the end of next year.
By end of next year, could argue. I think Brian Thomas Jr. by the end of next year.
They're kind of similar comp too. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you forget Tyler Lockett is in this division now? Sorry,
but ETN and Bigsby, I think they have a nice 1-2 punch there in the run game. ETN kind of had just a fall off year, but the Jags as a whole, you can't blame ETN for having an off year because the entirety of pretty much the team had just an off year. T-Law was out of the lineup. You had Mac Jones in there. And the one thing I will say about Brian Thomas Jr., which he kind of reminds me, not in play style, but like he might be in the Jefferson realm of being QB proof. How you've seen Jefferson over the years play with multiple different QBs. Like Brian Thomas Jr. back end of last year was putting up numbers with Mac fucking Jones.
Like D-Hop back in the Texans. Like it didn't matter who you threw in at quarterback, he was still going to get his. That's how good he is.
And then
D-Hop played with like 8 different quarterbacks.
And then I think losing Christian Kirk, losing Evan Ingram, I think might just open up this offense more for Trevor Lawrence. They might have had too many people that needed the ball last year on that team, including Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk. Like, even just the Jags as a whole, I feel like they've had a lot going on and too many guys that needed the ball on offense. And sometimes when you have a little bit less, it can be more. And I think their run game is going to have a bounce back year. Defensively, they're obviously not going to be stout. I think they're going to be a middle of the pack, below average team. But I think offensively, if you see a jump from T-Law, bounce back year from just that offense, they're going to be just fine. And then the Texans, like, I'm only really high on the Texans because of this division, but they have a top 5-6 defensive unit in the league. It's just that O-line. I think if they had that O-line together, I could realistically see them and put them in that conversation of being a tier up in the AFC. But it's crazy to me that they have CJ Stroud on this rookie contract, and I see them selling pieces off their O-line in the offseason, giving tinsel to the Commanders just for like no reason when like it wasn't even a pay thing. They just gave them up. So like that's alarming. But the Texans made the playoffs without Nico Collins and won a playoff game for most of the year without Nico Collins. Like, and they got him back at the end of the year. Tank Dell hurts, though, because him and Stroud had a connection. But I think Christian Kirk's going to be serviceable. But the only thing I'm worried about, and I kind of, when I was going through it, I was like, I could see a world where I convince myself the Jags, because Joe Mixon coming into the season hurt, and I know it's not a crazy injury, but he's older, and he was such a big part of why they were where they were last year offensively.
He did really well.
And he was eating last year behind an O-line that I think got worse. I don't know how much that run game is going to be this year. And I think they're going to have to really lean on like Christian Kirk and Nico Collins like this year, because I don't think the running game is going to be as good. And if there's a reason they don't finish first in this division, and it is like the Jags have such a crazy bounce back year, it's going to be because they can't run the ball in that O-line.
I thought it was interesting that you didn't even – I don't even know if they threw Stephon Diggs a contract off. I know he's coming off the ACL, whatever, but you know that you're not going to have Tank Dell for the rest of the year. Why not even like try to bring him back? I mean, it probably had to do something with money. Like, I can see Stephon Diggs asking for like a fuck ton of money.
And the Patriots also had like so much money to give.
Yeah.
When like you have a guy, like, I don't know what his actual contract was for the Patriots, but if that's what he wanted, like, then go get it.
And he was
But
on
I
pace
think-
before
I mean,
injury.
they're preparing to have to pay Stroud soon.
Yeah.
They're preparing to have to pay
That's-
Stroud soon too.
Yep.
Like,
So you saying that makes me look back at the Tunsil thing, because Tunsil was making a lot of money.
Diggs was
Oh.
3 years, $63 million. So
So he's probably not getting that from the Texans. So I do.
yeah,
That makes sense then.
I only disagree with the Tunsil thing. It can be a money issue, but like when your O-line is already bottom half of the league, and the O-line's the one main thing holding you back and kind of hindering CJ Stroud from really breaking through the ceiling, it seems like, and you sell off your best offensive lineman and you don't do anything to like draft or replace him, then it's like whatever. But they can
think it
lean on
has-
that defense.
I think it has something to do with like him and Will Anderson also needs to get paid.
Yeah.
Because they were both in the same draft class. They just re-signed Stinley last year, and they got him on like a crazy good deal because the cornerback market is kind of shit now, or it's kind of like getting up there. So I don't know. I think Texans will easily.
I mean, they would have probably taken
How
Stephon
many
on a
wins?
1 year, but if he was wanting 363, that's just not in their game right now.
A 1 year for sure.
If there's any team that's playing the Texans that's why I kind of had them. I can see them losing a little bit more. I had them at 11-6. It's just if you have any kind of pass rush against this team, and they're in a division where none of these teams have a elite tier pass rush, so I think they're going to damn near sweep the division. I think the Jags get one off of them, but it's just like it's those other matchups in the AFC. Like if they play a team with a really good pass rush, I'm looking at that O-line, like that could just be the difference in the game. Like those seconds that CJ Stroud doesn't have in the pocket to get the ball to Nico or Christian Kirk or whoever, like I think that's going to make the difference. But that run game is questionable right now because Nick Chubb, from reports, he doesn't have the juice to really be a starter at this point in his career.
Oh, no.
But I do expect Mixon
what
like
type
week
of-
4 or 5.
What type of team are the Texans in like the AFC West or like one of the AFC or NFC North? Like what do they look like if they're in one of the best divisions in football? Like are you guys thinking they're more of like a 9-8
They would
type of
be
team,
where
or are
the
they still
Packers
this?
are. They would be like a Packers
Say that
in the
again?
NFC North. I think they'd
Okay.
be like a
I see that.
second,
They're
third
even
place
with the
team.
Packers. You're saying like that's their level?
Yeah. Because I
Okay.
feel like they
I
have
can see
similar
that.
goals to the Packers.
I could see that. I would
I
maybe
agree with
argue
that.
that the
I
Packers
agree
are
with
better
that.
than them.
I think the Packers are better just because their O-line is better, but I think the Texans' defense is way way better.
I think you're underrating the Packers defense. I think the Packers defense.
Packers have a good
really
defense, I think, this year.
But nobody on the Packers is even close to the level of Nico Collins.
Well, no, that's
So,
the Packers' problem for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because they can't fucking get that number one receiver. Anyway, I like Matthew Golden though.
I do. We can go to
I mean, Josh Jacobs is. Anyway, we'll move on. Yeah.
the North. We'll go to the AFC North.
AFC North.
Connor, you can start again. We can go the same order.
So we're just going from shit division to shit division.
Yeah.
No, the AFC North is pretty good. Well, so
Yeah.
so again, we're not going to worry about the 1-16.
Yeah.
It's the Browns. The Browns are bad. They won't go 1-16, but they'll be bad. They're good. I know you guys all have the Browns last in your division, so you guys you're hearing me out. Yeah, they'll realistically they're gonna get like 3-4 wins. Shadir will take over at the end, and then that's the Browns season. But the Browns just I don't know, man. Like the Browns have usually all the tools to be good, and then they just never are. Like the only time they were good was with Baker, and then they kind of went into like QB hell. And I mean, now you have your guy. If Shadir can start, I think this is going to be just Shadir like being on the bench kind of for a while, and then they'll like slowly start to put him in. But the Browns defense isn't bad. Like it's basically the only reason they're in games. Like David Njoku's awesome. Like Amari Cooper's still a free agent, by the way.
I think he retired.
He retired.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I didn't even know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. So who's their number one? Jerry Jeudy and
Cedric Tillman.
no, it's not him. There's no way.
I think it is.
Donovan
It's that
Peoples-Jones?
other guy. No, it's
That's a quarterback.
Jerry
who's
Jeudy,
the-
1,300
Moore?
receiving yards.
what was the old Jets guy?
Elijah Moore.
It's
Yep,
Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore.
Elijah Moore.
Banger.
Yeah.
Elijah Moore. So this offense is going to be so fuck. You know what? Maybe I'm talking myself into one win. It's insane. But yeah, they'll be bad. So
Who's RB1 there? It
Judkins.
was Judkins.
Nick Chubb.
Was.
Ford.
Chubb with the
Jerome
Texans.
Ford. Jerome
Oh,
Ford.
it is Jerome Ford.
Nick Chubb's
Well,
not
if
their one.
Judkins, Nick
Chubb's
Chubb is on the Texans.
Let me look.
Let me look. So I have Judkins in fantasy, and I don't know if he's going to get. I don't even know if he's going to get suspended or not. But if he does, then Jerome Ford is the starter. Moving on, I got the Steelers getting third. I mean, this is about where the Steelers need to be. I got them at 7-10 with A-Rod. Somehow they'll end up finishing 9-8 because Mike Tomlin never finishes with a losing record. The Steelers are interesting. They're definitely one of the teams that I'm going to be watching this year, like really heavily, like with A-Rod. I love DK. I think DK is going to have a great year. I think Caleb Johnson starting is going to be awesome for them. It's really just everything else. Everything else is my problem with the Steelers. I don't think that defense is anywhere where it needs to be. And they're just in a division with the second place team and the first place team that we're going to be talking about. The Bengals are going to be in second. I have them getting 13-3 or 13-4. I think it's just going to be a bounce back year for the Bengals. I think everybody thinks that this is going to be a bounce back year. I'm not saying they're going to go all the way go to the Super Bowl or anything, but that offense is just fucking beautiful. You have like the number one offense, and then you're going to have the worst defense. So as long as their defense can hold teams to under 40 points a game, I think they'll just win all these shootouts. And they signed back Gesicki,
Yeah.
right? And then Chase Brown will be their starting guy. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, the whole gang. O-line is mid. And but it doesn't matter because you're going to finish below the Ravens because the Ravens are going to win 15 games this year.
God damn.
And Lamar's probably going to be in MVP talks for his third MVP. But yeah, the Ravens we have this conversation every year. It's just like rinse and repeat. Ravens are going to be one of the best teams in the league, and then they're going to get into the playoffs, and they're going to play the Chiefs, or they're going to play the Bills, and they're just going to lose. And that's exactly what's going to happen. But yeah, the Ravens team is basically the same from last year. There wasn't any huge changes, I don't think. They added D-Hop. Good job.
Who did they add? Alexander from the Packers.
Yeah, they did. They did. add
Jair. Yep, they do have Jair now. So that'd be nice. So their secondary is very good, and their linebacker core is very good. But yeah, I have them winning 15 games. I'm going to assume that all of our divisions are the exact same. Maybe not records wise, but where teams are going to be placed.
Yeah. Before I go, Amari Cooper did not retire. I got Adam Scheffler Not Adam Schefter. It's Adam Scheffler.
Yep.
Amari Cooper is a free agent still. My bad. AFC North in fourth place. I got the Browns at 3-14.
That's where I would put them.
You know, just is what it is. Maybe they win 5 or 6 games, but I don't see much of this team going forward. Steelers, I do have 7-10. Sorry, Will and Stroh. I think this is finally the year Mike Tomlin goes under 500. I just don't believe in Aaron Rodgers at this point. I still think the defense is going to be good. They're going to keep them in games. It's going to be close. It's just they're going to get your hopes up just enough to ruin it at the end of the year. In second, the Bengals, I think everything's going to be really good. I just think I have them losing like a couple tough games. I think for a while, like at the top of this page, you can see like who your number one is. I think they were the number 1 seed for like the first like 15 weeks or something like that. And then lost a few more games. So I think it'll be close, but then I do have Baltimore at 13-4, winning the division. I just think they're going to be like one of the powers, like one of the best teams in the league this year. I do think I'll probably end up choosing them to go to the Super Bowl. Maybe, but we'll get to that later on.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I got the Browns in fourth. I do think, though, I feel like Cleveland, like it wouldn't surprise me if they're able to like put together a season of, like you said, like 5, 6, maybe even 7 wins. Even like no matter who their quarterback is, they can just like win ugly games. It's just kind of how the AFC North goes. But I have them at 4-13. I don't really think it matters who their quarterback is. I feel like Joe Flacco is going to win some games he's not supposed to. Shadur, if you do end up starting him, he'll be a young quarterback who's able to come in, make some plays, and win you a few games that way. Like, I don't know. I think they're a gritty team that'll win them some games. But I do have them in last. I think the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's going to get back to Aaron Rodgers' level by any means, but I do think they're going to be an 8-9 team, which I know the Mike Tomlin over 500 thing exists. I just don't see that. I don't think TJ Watt's the same player he once was. I really don't. I really like Alex Highsmith for them. I think he's honestly maybe one of their best players on their defense. But I don't know. I like the addition of DK. I think Caleb Johnson from Iowa, the running back, will actually come in and be good for them too. And it's just such a competitive division. I don't think 8-9. There's nothing wrong with that. They barely are going to miss the playoffs, and that's just where they're at. It's nothing against the Steelers making them not go 500 again. That's just where they're at, and they're getting to the point once A-Rod's done, they're going to be looking for a new quarterback and maybe going into a rebuild phase, which I don't even think I've seen in my lifetime. Sorry to ramble about the Steelers, but in second place, this roster isn't good, but I got the Bengals at 11-6. I just think when you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, a lot of people are starting to say Jamar over Justin Jefferson, and I don't know if I'm there, but he's right there. And then you combine that with having the best number 2 receiver in the league probably, and then I like Chase Brown coming in this year. That's a better situation than starting off with Zach Moss last year, even though he was serviceable. They're playing their guys in preseason. They're going to be ready to go weeks 1 through 3 and not have that slow start like usual. And I think that'll be enough to boost them into the playoffs and be in second place. And honestly, it's being a contender. When you got that talent in Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, you're a contender. And then in first place, like the team I'm probably the highest on this year is the Ravens. It's easy to be high on the Ravens. I mean, Lamar Jackson is the best player in football. I think you can say that. I mean, Josh won MVP, but Lamar Jackson is really special. He's in the MVP race every year. I think he should have won it last year. When is it going to be the time, though, that he has those few big playoff games in a row to get him at least to the Super Bowl? That's what everyone needs to see from Lamar next. I think I've been saying this year every single year. I think this might really be the year for them. I just really like this team. I like the defense. I think Zay Flowers is in for a big year. I think they got one of the best coaches in the NFL. Obviously, then Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. The Ravens are in first place for me. At 12-5, though, I think they're going to fuck around and lose some games they shouldn't. That's just what they do. But I'm okay with that. Save them for the playoffs.
Right. I also agree. I have some of the records a little bit different. I have the Browns at 5-12. A couple more wins than you guys. Mainly because I feel like there's always at least 2 games out of the year where Myles Garrett single-handedly wins them a game. It happens like every year where like they're in a situation, they're in a close, ugly game, and Myles Garrett just gets the sack or gets a crazy play to break their way defensively. And I will say, like, looking at this, like their schedule, they play the Titans like week 13, 14. I'm gonna go out on a hot take and a prediction. That's gonna be like the Shadur like solidifying moment, and he's gonna be their franchise guy. They're gonna go like and play Tennessee, and they're gonna play Cam Ward, who was the number 1 overall pick, and Shadur's gonna absolutely fucking ball, and they're gonna win that game. That's gonna be kind of like the shining moment of this season for the Browns, when Shadur kind of gets the nod and like the city gets more and more behind him, because once the second Flacco starts playing bad, and we know what's going to happen, he's going to have 3 games where he's putting up crazy numbers, and he's going to play terrible 3 games after that. So once Shadur gets in there, I think people are going to start to have this feeling like and want to see the Browns succeed, as long as you're not a Shadur just hater in general, just because of who he is. And it's kind of been a big reason why I hope he kind of, maybe they're not going to win a ton of games, but he just plays well for the Browns.
I think he already has the city behind him after the first preseason game.
Yeah.
Like they were, it looked like they were in Carolina, and it looked like they were in Cleveland. That there were so many Cleveland fans there just cheering him on. Like, it was insane.
Like, play the rookie, dude. Like, that's what gets the fans inspired for the future, at least. You're not going to be good anyways. Like, play him.
In third, I have the Steelers. I have them going 11-6.
What?
Hear me out.
Fuck?
Hear me out. If you're looking
11?
at the back 11-6, if you're looking at the back half of last year, and you're looking at how Aaron Rodgers was playing,
you just made Nick turn his camera off. He got so fucking upset.
Aaron Rodgers looked a lot better in the back half of last year compared to like the start of last year. And him and Devontae were connecting towards the back half of the year, and he was hooping, and he did look a little bit more comfortable, and he was moving better. So now a full off season, not rehabbing, a full off season with the Steelers and everything else like that. I like them reshuffling this offense. I think Caleb Johnson and Jalen Warren give them a lot more juice in that backfield. I think DK gives them a lot more juice in the receiving game. Obviously, receiver number 2 is in question, but you have Freiermuth and John Smith. Aaron Rodgers loves to utilize his tight ends. They're going to be able to run some big personnel out there. But defensively, I love them getting Jalen Ramsey. You can say TJ Watt maybe not is the same player he was like a couple years ago, but in the regular season, the Steelers defense is going to be top 3 or 4 in the league. They're going to make stops in the regular season. I know I've said in the playoffs, they always have this top end defense, and they always get smoked in the playoffs in that wild card game. But in the regular season, that defense is stout, and that defense keeps them and wins games for them. And now you're getting a quarterback, and it's Aaron Rodgers. But from what I saw in the back half of last year, Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing better. I'm confident in saying this. He's going to be better than Russell Wilson was for them. He's going to be better than Justin Fields was for them. And those teams were still winning games, like behind that defense and playing really good football. And Aaron Rodgers is going to take better care of the ball than both of those fucking guys, and Fields and Russell Wilson. And the only thing that is questionable, if they can get the run game going, then I start looking at the Steelers team, because that's been the big thing. But they don't have Najee's slow ass anymore. So Caleb Johnson has a lot more juice. Same with Jalen Warren. They have a nice 1-2 punch. I think the defense in the regular season is going to hoop. And I think they're just going to be in that same position where they're going to be third. And I could even argue them above the Bengals, which I can get into the Bengals, which obviously the biggest thing for the Bengals, if T. Higgins stays healthy, the sky's the limit for this team. Because when T. Higgins misses his 6 to 7 weeks throughout the regular season, that's when this team struggles, because they just load up on Jamar Chase, and who else on the Bengals offense is going to beat you with an T. Higgins on the field? So if T. Higgins can stay healthy, which is a big if, because it seems like every year he's missing time, they're going to be fine. But how many wins did I have? The Bengals, I had them going 12-5. The Bengals are another team that I can see going 10-7, because they also, like last year, had a ton of bad luck. McPherson missed like 3 game-winning field goals for them. They played the 2 of the best games of the season last year against the Ravens and lost off field goals both times. Like, the Patriots lost. They obviously wish they had back, but like, they're going to lose some games. If they don't have Hendrickson on the field, they're going to lose a lot of games they probably shouldn't. I'm not good. That offense, even though they have all that talent, isn't going to be clicking every single game. Like, I think the Steelers could easily put them in a box, especially defensively. Like, I think they're not going to beat the Ravens again this year. I think they're going to split with the Ravens at best. Like, the defense just scares me. Like, I know how good that offense is, and I'm going to put them at second just to give respect to Joe Burrow in the season he just had. But, like, that defense is so bad. And if you're losing your sack leader, who you won't pay, who do you have on that defense? Like nothing. You have nothing on that defense. That makes me scared. I could even argue, I think I might put the Steelers above the Bengals. I think the Steelers just have a more complete roster on the defensive side of the ball to play better football than the Bengals do.
I'm just gonna trust like the elite quarterback.
Yeah. No, I get you. That's why it's
over
tough.
Aaron Rodgers.
It's
Like
tough.
I'm loving the sell job. Like I just said,
You're selling me.
I'm hearing you.
You're
I'm
getting
hearing
me.
you. I'm hearing you.
Because
11. Oh, I think 11 is a little too crazy.
I agree.
If you would have said like 9, even 10, I'd have been like, you know what? Maybe that. You know what? Maybe.
So I'm gonna show
11.
So I'm gonna show you where I got the. So I was also at 9,
Okay.
but the other 2 wins were. They're gonna say what you want. I think the Ravens, and we can get into that, are the most talented team in football. I think the only thing the Eagles have over them is A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. That's the only thing. The only thing is the receivers. I think the Ravens match up with them at every other aspect. But the Ravens are just going to fucking lose to the Steelers once this year. It's just going to happen. They're going to go into Pitt and get beat. In division game. They're going to lose to the Steelers, and I think the Steelers are going to beat the Bengals once this year. So, like, those where I got those extra 2 wins, like, from
You just have them split.
I guess those were in mine.
So I'm just gonna have them split, and that's where I got the other win
feel
for
like I might
the
have had
Steelers. And then the Ravens, I had the Ravens 13-4, but like Cole said, the Ravens also tend to lose and be in games that they should be winning easily, but it's like Lamar Jackson's fucking around in the first half for some reason. So like I'm going 13-4, but they have the most talented roster in football, in my opinion. That defense is disgusting, and then you just add Jair just because you can. Like the only thing that worries me is like I don't view Zay Flowers as like a true one like that. So it's like, but you have Henry and Lamar, and that run game is going to be disgusting.
Andrews likely.
Yeah. Well, the Ravens also like one of the most reliable tight ends in the past decade drops a ball on the goal line, like,
And then fumbles.
So like it's just tough. I do expect Mark Andrews to have a little bit more of a bounce back year because he came into the year hurt. So he could have a little bit better of a year in the receiving game, but. Like I said, we've had this conversation with the Ravens before.
Because isn't Likely hurt right now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got carted off.
Fuck.
But that defense is going to be elite. But I do think they're prone to lose at least. They're going to split with the Bengals and Steelers this year, I think.
Yeah. I forgot to mention Kyle Hamilton, one of my favorite players to watch in the league on the defense side of the ball. Another part of the Ravens. I just wanted to shout him out.
But we can go on to... Before we get to the West, we can hop into the East because I think the East is kind of self-explanatory as well.
The AFC East is it's something, I'll tell you that. That's AFC East, man. I mean, yeah. I got the Patriots being in last. I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna do better than last year. I mean, you guys there's gonna be the flashes. They'll be there, but the Patriots again just aren't like a full team to be ready to go on in the AFC to move on. I mean, you're gonna go 5-12. And you're just gonna accept it, like that's just what happens. Like they're gonna be like, okay, like maybe you see the Drake May, like the flashes are gonna be there. Like I bet Diggs has a decent year. The defense is still all right. Like
Travion Henderson.
Travion. Like you're gonna have some people break out and everything. O-line's not terrible, and then so you're not the worst team in the AFC.
Nope.
So you're just there, and then right above them, I have the Jets. I have the Jets going 6-10. I'm not insanely high on the Jets, but they could be one of those teams that could shock me, and I think that they could end up maybe getting to that like 8-9 range. I don't think they're going to do anything too crazy. Big Justin Fields guy. I want Justin Fields to do really good. It's just hard to see what he did with us and then what he did with the Steelers, and actually let him go into the like Jets, who are not super. The Jets and the Steelers are kind of the same in the same area. So I don't know. The Jets defense might be is obviously a lot worse. But I mean, he has Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson just got paid. That offense will be very interesting. They're going to be changing they're going to move that offense to his liking. Yeah, I mean, the Jets are just the Jets. So also be good. And now Corey knows this. Big Dolphins guy. I was high on the Dolphins last year. I think the Dolphins could have easily made the playoffs last year if Tua didn't die. I think it would have been fine. I love the Dolphins' offense. I love Mike McDaniel. I like what they do. I like their defense. I have them going 11-6. I think they're going to be really good. Obviously, injuries happen. But if they can keep Tua, if Tua can stay the course, this is all hypothetical. If he can stay the course, I think they could easily get double-digit wins and make the playoffs again. They're going to be behind the Bills. Obviously, I have the Bills going 15-2. But I'm really high on the Dolphins. I think Tyreek's going to have a good year. You can't go more than 3/4 of the year with fucking Tyler Huntley as your quarterback and expect to do anything. They went out and got Zach Wilson. I'm not saying Zach Wilson's a lot fucking better than Tyler Huntley, but at least you got a serviceable starting quarterback-esque guy behind Tua. I don't hate that. And then I'm gonna not take a lot of time on the Bills. The Bills are gonna go 15-2. Josh Allen's gonna be arguably top 2 quarterback in the league. They're gonna probably sweep the division low key, but yeah, I'm not gonna take any. They just got Joey Bosa, like Jesus Christ.
Before you Nick goes, I will say I think Zach Wilson, if Tua does get hurt, I think he's way more fitting for that offense than Tyler Huntley was.
Because obviously we had this conversation last year. It's like, is watching them drop so many games in a row last year, like it almost makes you like he is Tua the only quarterback that can run that system for Mike McDaniel. Like that's not a plug and play system. Like you have to be there to understand like how bad Tyler Huntley was doing and how bad all these other guys. Like I don't know. That makes me seeing value. Like how valuable Tua is to the Dolphins.
It's a timing based offense.
That's what I remember seeing is Tua had like the fastest point to release.
Yes. Timing,
and like no other guy that they brought in was able to get their timing down like that. And like Zach Wilson definitely was known to not have good timing in his when he was starting, but
I just think Zach Wilson has more power, just more arm talent than Tyler Huntley.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No, 100%.
I think the offense is going to be the same. I mean, Achan's going to have a breakout year. I'm big on Achan this year. Tyreek's still there, fastest player in the league. He's going to be he's your guy, and then you have your safety blanket, Jalen Waddle. Like he's also going to be there. And then, did they get a tight end? Do we know this?
I have no idea.
They lost Jonnu, but I don't know who is their starting guy.
I have no idea if they drafted somebody late.
I do not know. But
and then you have
Jonnu Smith at the end of the season turned into a Pro Bowler. And that's why he got that contract from the Steelers. So if they can put anybody in there, who is it?
It's Darren Waller.
Yes, it is.
It is Darren Waller.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Darren Waller, baby. Hey, you know what?
I love that.
12 wins.
Love that.
But yeah, big on the Dolphins this year.
I think I got to give him another win.
McDaniel will get him right, bro.
The Dolphins are going to be my big AFC team. The Colts are just the team I want to see do good in the AFC, but I think the Dolphins are my heavy hitter.
Okay. Wow. All right. I have the Patriots down there at the bottom, 4-13. We'll see some flashes though. Drake May.
Damn.
I love what I saw from Travion Henderson. It's just like God, the AFC stacked. They don't have an easy schedule.
Y'all had the Patriots at 4-5 wins. Sorry to interrupt. Y'all had the Patriots at 4-5 wins, both of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I must be tripping. Go ahead. I don't know. I got a Patriots thing this year, I think.
I don't know.
I also had the Titans getting 6.
I think I also have a Jets thing this year a little bit. So I do have them 6-11, kind of like Connor, but I could so see them doing like that 8-win, 9-win thing. Yeah. It just feels like low key.
Me and Nick are on the same wavelength.
Like is Justin Fields on his like Baker Mayfield arc or something?
I'm looking at Corey's face. Corey's I got 12 wins for the Jets.
I would absolutely oh my god. I'd be salivating to see Justin Fields come out here and hoop like that.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't even be mad.
He's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch. I mean, I like Garrett Wilson. I like a lot of the Jets players. I like their defense a lot. Obviously, Sauce Gardner just got paid. They're just a fun team to watch. I would love to see them win. But I do have them down at 6 wins, so I'm not predicting it. I do have the Dolphins at 9-8. I low-key do want to give them one more win after we talked about them. Connor kind of sold me a little bit.
Damn, I'm going to unsell you guys on the Dolphins.
Okay, type shit. Type shit. So I'll keep them here for now, 9-8.
I'm not going to lie.
You're selling me, man.
Yeah.
There's just a new kind of hate when it comes to the Dolphins.
Defense, I don't know. That might be where they fall apart. Obviously, at first I got the Buffalo Bills. I got them 12-5, a little bit lower than Connor, but I just think they play a lot of like the Phillies and Detroits and Baltimore. I think I just have them losing a few of those games. So, but definitely going to be one of the best teams in the league for sure.
Okay, so I just want to set something straight. Mike Vrabel is not only winning 5 games in the NFL. Mike Vrabel is.
He got fired for
I
a
got the
reason,
Patriots
man.
in fourth place. I mean, yeah, he wasn't tanking. They couldn't tank with him. He was going to be too good. He was going to be too good for the Titans. I got the Patriots in fourth at 8-9. I'm actually high on this division. I just think Drake May is going to end up being. I think him and Cam Ward. Like someone was asking me, out of all like the great rookie quarterback class from last year, throw Cam Ward in there. Like, where do you rank everyone? I have Jaden 1, and then I got like Drake May and Cam Ward 2. I just want to throw that out there. I think Drake May is going to be really, really good, and I think he's going to show that this year in year 2. You know, he's going to have a better coaching staff. Yes, I do.
And
yes.
Caleb?
Long term, yes. Long term, well, Caleb's close. I actually still like Caleb, but long term, yes, I do. But I think you give Drake May this better coaching staff. I'm high on Travion Henderson. I just really buy into Mike Vrabel though more than anything. I agree the roster isn't like anything out of this world. I really, really buy in to Mike Vrabel. He's going to find a way to revive Stephon Diggs. I just think that this team is going to be good enough to win 8 games. I don't think they're a real contender by any means. I just don't see Mike. I'm really high on Mike Vrabel. I'm really high on this organization, if anything. And then tied with them at not tied. They ended up third on my thing, but also at 8 and 9, I have the Jets. Like I said, I'm high on this division. Everything we were saying about Justin Fields. I mean, that'd be a really fun season if like he's like running for a bunch of touchdowns and he's throwing the ball at least enough to like let Garrett Wilson have an elite season and Sauce is back to being one of the best corners in the NFL. Like that'd just be fun. So I got them at 8 and 9, and then. You were telling me on Dolphins, but at 9 and 8, I have the Dolphins. I think Tua is really fucking good. He's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL probably, and he's always really good. He gets a lot of hate because of like end of the year playing in the cold, playoff reasons, and obviously like the injury stuff's very sad with him. Like you want to see him out there and healthy, but when he's there, like he's gonna put your team in a good spot in the regular season. Like the Dolphins just beat the shit out of bad teams when he's playing. They can't beat the good teams very much, but they're going to beat the shit out of every bad team they play. And I think they're playing a third place schedule this year. Maybe second actually. Never mind. I think they're going to be good enough to go 9 and 8, but down the stretch of the season, I just still got to see it. Then in first place, I don't have them winning 15 games. Or I don't know, Nick. I don't remember what you said you had them at, but I got the Bills at 12 and 5. They're just going to kind of coast into the playoffs. They're going to coast to the playoffs, and it's time for Josh Allen to beat the Chiefs, like if that's what comes up. So I don't think they're going to like be this dominant regular season team. Maybe they are, but I think they're just going to kind of coast in the playoffs, and they're just going to be really good. They're not going to have like a historic. I don't really have any teams having like a historic regular season. Maybe I was just playing it conservative, but Bills at 12 and 5 in first place, and I think it's going to be them and the Ravens in the AFC title game. I'll just spoil that right now.
So
maybe I do.
So this was interesting. I want Justin Fields, same thing with the Jets as you guys, but I just don't fully believe it as much as I want to see it. Hearts tell me one thing, minds tell me another of what I want to see from the Jets. But I am going 5 and 12. I'm worried about the defense. I feel like the defense has taken years back since like 3 years ago when they were like damn near with Zach Wilson that year. They were damn near winning games basically just off their defense. The year Rodgers got hurt, that defense was at its peak. And I think they've just fallen off ever since. O-line is still a big-time question mark. I think Justin Fields does give them just more wiggle room to have kind of a bad O-line because he is elusive and can get out of the pocket. I think Braylon Allen is going to take Breece Hall's job this year.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even bring up Breece Hall.
Oh, wow.
What are we talking about?
He's going to take his job this year.
I don't agree.
That's crazy.
I don't agree, but
everything
maybe
that
like
I
a 50-50.
I have
He's
heard
not going
that
to take his job.
The Jets are willing to shop Breece Hall.
Whoa.
They're willing to like look for trade.
Everything I've heard out of camp is that it is a 50-50 split. And I think Aaron Glenn is going to want to play this more physical style of play in the run game with Fields and Braylon Allen. And Braylon Allen is going to be so much better in the red zone compared to Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is the guy where it's kind of like Gibbs and Mott. I hate using that comparison because everybody wants to use that comparison. But Hall's going to be your guy that kind of gets you down the field with Justin Fields, and then you give it to Braylon Allen when you need to score a touchdown, when you're in the red zone and you're at 3rd and 5, and he's going to be able to go get it done. Like, as much as I just think the defense is taking a little bit more of a step back than I would think in the past couple of years. I think Sauce is kind of, honestly, he just got paid, but I think Sauce 2-3 years ago is not the same player now. And that could just be because
It was one bad
I
year.
think it's just like his rookie year, man.
One average year.
I'm not high on the Jets defense outside of him, in my opinion. But in this division, I just think, like, as much as I want to believe in Justin Fields, 5-12, I could just see him also just having typical Justin Fields a year. And, like, the same problems are just coming up. He'll have a couple games where it's like the deep ball's hitting with Garrett Wilson and he's rushing for a bunch of touchdowns, but there'll also be games where, like, he had with the
shit
Steelers
just ain't going.
Or shit just ain't going, right? And year one with Aaron Glenn, they could easily go into next offseason, reshuffle the deck, and get him more of a team around his play style. Obviously, year one with him, I think he's the long-term answer at head coach still. I have the Dolphins at 7-10. Looking at where the NFL is going, like, the Dolphins are so bad in short yardage. They don't have a single running back that they can just hand the ball off to 3 straight times. There's a clip out there of them in preseason handing the ball off 3 straight times and not picking up a single yard in the red zone against a backup defense. Like, them in short yardage, they've always been bad. They don't have a single running back in that room.
It's H.N.
They had what's-his-face a few years ago who broke the record.
Oh,
Remember his
Mostert.
name.
Mostert. He did break the record for rushing.
Now he's gone.
But you don't have him, and I think H.N.'s
He's a
more
Raider, baby.
Is he? Wow.
Of course
Yeah.
he is.
It's just more of a receiving back than anything. And I kind of said this last year. I know Tua was hurt majority of the year, but even towards the start of the season, when he was healthy, the Miami Dolphins were not playing good football, like, at all.
They beat the Jags on some bullshit in like week 1 or 2.
Like, they just,
Yeah.
when I look at this team, yes, they do beat up on bad teams. I just think people have figured out the Dolphins. I said this last year. I think the first year they all had it clicking and got it all together. They were just killing fucking teams, and the offense looked insane. That offense, even with Tua healthy at the start of last year, like I said, was not hitting, was not looking good. I think there's definitely a rift now with Tyreek Hill in the locker room. I can see a world where everything is just – I just think the brakes are going to fall off for the Dolphins this year. I can see a world where, like, even if Tua stays healthy, they're just still not good enough. I think defensively they got a lot worse. Like, they're just not physical enough in the trenches on either side of the ball to, like, give themselves any advantage. So if it's not them being flashy offensively and them being creative, like, they can't run the ball efficiently in the red zone. I think it's going to be one of the reasons why they're settling for three points and not getting into the end zone. And I think that's going to be the big difference in their season. And then the Patriots, I can kind of say the same, but opposite. I think the Patriots, when you're looking at them in the preseason, Mike Vrabel has changed the identity of that team. They're super, super physical on the line. And I think that run game is going to be really, really good compared to last year with Drake May. And Drake May, I really like. I think he's sneakily like a really good dual threat guy that can make plays with his legs, has a big arm. I really like Stephon Diggs this year. I think they're going to get a lot out of him. They have a really good secondary. I have the Patriots going 10-7, but I don't have them making the playoffs. They have a very easy schedule. And I think they're in this division. I think they can sweep the Dolphins and Jets this year, in my opinion. I'm not high on the Dolphins. I'm high on the Patriots. They're just, when you're looking at the trenches and in the red zone, they're going to be way, way better than the Dolphins this year. And I think their defense is going to be better than the Dolphins this year. And if they can get a really good year out of Stephon Diggs, I think the passing game can come to life. And I think Drake May is going to elevate his game and behind Mike Vrabel. And this is the most talented quarterback Vrabel's had, like, ever compared to his time in Tennessee. Bro had Ryan fucking Tannehill, who I think Drake May is in a whole different stratosphere.
We're going to act like Ryan Tannehill's just bad.
Talented. Ryan Tannehill was awesome. But just based off pure talent and what Drake May can become, I agree.
I think Drake May, talent-wise, is just better and has a higher ceiling. And if Vrabel can unlock that, then I think it can be in a really good spot going forward. 10 wins might be a little rich.
Too. I think you guys are just a year too early.
Yeah, I think you are as well.
I can definitely see this next year. How many wins did they
have last season? 3?
I'd rather be on this side of it, though. I ain't gonna lie.
This is just insane.
Drake May could be nasty.
You
He
think they're
could
jumping
be,
from,
but like
from 3
Stephon
wins
Diggs
to,
is
like, 10?
32. Y'all ain't got no other receivers.
Demario Douglas,
I don't give a fuck about Pop Douglas, bro.
Kyle
They call
Williams.
him Pop. They call him Pop Douglas.
They
I like
don't-
that.
I don't care
yeah,
about
he's
Pop.
nice.
I just think they are going to
He
play a
might be
very
nice.
physical style of ball, and I think they're going to be in a lot of games. Maybe 10 is a little bit rich. Maybe you could flip them with the Dolphins. I think them and the Dolphins could have anywhere between 8, 9, 10, or whatever wins you want to go. But I just like what I see from the Patriots more as a team compared to the Dolphins, who are kind of like a one-trick kind of pony in a way. Because if they're not having the deep ball going, what are they going to? It's a bunch of checkdowns to Achane that are not going for any yards, or like Tyreek. Like, I just think the Dolphins have been completely figured out, and I think Mike McDaniel might be on the hot seat this season.
Oh, I can see that.
He is.
I think he's
If not
is
this year,
he's
then next
definitely-
year.
Yes, he's
been
definitely
he
on the
was
hot seat
He was on it last year.
because that offense might
The
be
injury
too
saved us. The injury
complex.
saved us.
That offense is so much motion and timing to where, like, if Tua does miss time, even though I kind of like said Zach Wilson might be able to do a little bit better in that offense in that scheme, but like still, like, it's not. I would still be worried. Like, and then obviously Buffalo. I ain't gotta say too much about Buffalo. We know what Buffalo is. It's their division every year until like Josh Allen retires. Probably it doesn't matter who else is on that roster. If they have Josh Allen, they're gonna wipe floor with that division. They beat Miami every time they play them. Patriots, I think, get one off them this year in a sneaky game, and then.
See, I don't know how you can say that the fucking Patriots are going to get one off of them, but the Dolphins can't.
Well, we
The
forgot
Dolphins-
to
I
mention
think
for the
that's so
Patriots too. The
ass
Patriots
backwards.
signed Robert Spillane. The Patriots signed Robert Spillane. They improved their defense a little bit too. I mean, that was a great middle linebacker
Who?
in coverage last year. That's a run
Robert
stop.
Spillane? Is
Robert
that the
Spillane
white
was a
dude
great
from the
middle
Raiders?
linebacker last year. He was a great run stopper in Pittsburgh, and also obviously with the Vegas. And then last year he showed he's good in coverage too. I mean, that's a high end middle linebacker if you ask me. I think him going to the Patriots too will just help that defense as well. You put a guy like that in variable systems. I mean, I think the Patriots are nice. I think y'all undersold them. 4 and 5 wins. I can't go there. I mean, they're going to beat the Bills once. I'm with Corey on that one.
My last take
I think we're
before we
spending
get
too
to the
much time on the
West.
Patriots.
Last take before we get to the West. I just think the Dolphins are fucking soft. I think they're a
They
soft
are
football
soft.
team, and they get pushed around on the line of scrimmage every fucking year, and they're just a soft football team. And when you already don't really have – you have Achane, who is a really good running back, but when you don't have any pressure and push on your O-line whatsoever and your D-line's weak, and you don't have a mobile QB to kind of give you a little bit more wiggle room, you have a pure pocket passer, I just think it sets you up for disaster. Because
It's just-
Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, like
any team that can get physical with Miami is going to have a chance to beat them.
Bradley Chubb in
true.
2025.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle play too much of the same, and they don't have a real, I feel like, route runner in that wide receiver room. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill want to do the same thing in that offense for the most part. And Tyreek Hill,
now Jalen Waddle not a good route runner. What are we saying? What is going on, man?
you're not understanding what I'm saying. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle play a similar style in that offense, but they don't have any big time receivers, like bigger body receivers that can win downfield like that. They're all speed guys.
It's
all timing and speed
Again,
with the Miami.
it's all timing. So it's if Tyreek can beat his guy in the first 2 seconds, or Jalen Waddle, who's always running a route over the middle, can get open over the middle in that first few seconds. And if it's not that, then it's just Achane check down.
Yeah. So I think they're.
And you're
we
right,
didn't even get
they
to
are
see a full
soft.
Tua year last year though. Like
It just sucks because Tua is soft, like, and it's not his fault. Like, it's just.
I
It just
think the
rubs
team
off
in
on that
general
team.
is
It
good,
just
bro.
sucks.
Tua's really good.
No, he is good. I'm not saying he's not. It's just he's soft because, like, what's going on with his head, man? I'm going to see him run for a 10-yard
Bro.
run, and I'm going to freak the fuck out because I'm going to think he's going to die.
He did
Yeah,
himself
I
no
want him to.
favors because
None.
he
but, like,
ran
it's
out of
just-
the pocket and went head first into a guy last year, bro.
That
He
was
loves football.
I remember that so vividly.
he loves football.
The second
loves
he went
football.
head first, I was like, "What is he doing?"
It's like you just don't want to play.
He's there.
I
for
just
the
think
football.
we can get on to the AFC West. I just think
Yes,
the Dolphins are soft. I
They're
just
soft
don't.
for sure.
They're just a soft team on the line of scrimmage. That's my biggest issue with them.
In a tough division.
Yeah, not tough, but the Bills are just gonna wipe ass. Like it's just the Bills are just gonna win this division. This division, no other team's making the playoffs out of this division this year.
Well, I'm
I mean,
ready
so
to hear
far
some-
we got 3 sweet division winners with the Texans, Ravens, and Bills. So We've all picked them. We'll see it in the AFC West. I mean,
I'm
I
ready
think
to
AFC
see
West
some
is-
crazy
This is
shit
the best.
from
This is
you
the
guys.
best talking point
God.
here is the West.
Get to go from the
is
talking
the
about the
best
Patriots,
division
talking
in
about the
football.
shit ass Raiders.
This is the best division in football,
Oh
You
yeah,
think?
hands down. I think this is
This is the
best
NFC
division.
North.
Yeah,
I think I give
think-
this one the edge though.
It's-
I think I give the edge to this one as well.
I like that.
I'm gonna, man. I got the
Go ahead,
Raiders in
Connor.
last.
Uh-huh.
The Raiders are in last.
Talk to him.
But it's not.
Four.
It's
Just
not
say
a
four.
bad.
We don't gotta say
it's
last.
not-
Let's just call it fourth. It's AFC West.
Last.
gotta call it last.
Fourth, not last.
Just call
So
it fourth.
it's not like a bad fourth place. Like you're 8-9. If you were in the Texans division, you would have got second. Like it's just this is how the cards were dealt, man. I mean, I got you guys at 8-9. Gino he just doesn't move the fucking needle for me. I just don't like Gino. Not a big Gino guy. Who is your running back? Genty now? So, I mean, I love Genty. Genty's really good. Bowers is going to have a great season. I think you guys are way too high on Jacoby Myers. I think Jacoby Myers is like the middest of the mid you can get in receivers. But he's serviceable. So I think he's not serviceable.
We
but
praise
he's
Terry
not the
McLaurin when
guy.
he barely cracked 1,000 every year, but when Jacoby Myers cracked
Oh my God,
1,000 every year, no one cares. That's my problem with
He's
it.
just not.
They love
I just
they
don't
love
think-
bringing it up for Terry McLaurin, but when Jacoby Myers does the same shit, I don't know.
I'm just not a Jacoby Myers guy. Some people are just Jacoby Myers guys. I'm not.
He's
not one of
those guys.
I think the Raiders' defense is awful. I think they have Max Crosby and
I
no
agree.
one else. The secondary
Losing
Yeah.
Christian
in
Wilkins
particular-
for like just cutting him is definitely not helps.
that's
Doesn't
not a good
help.
idea. It's not a good look.
That's tough. That was just you can't
Another
do
bad
nothing.
I heard
break
he
of
was,
contract.
I heard he was doing some other stuff. We're not gonna worry about that. Though. Your guys' secondary is just awful. But 8-9. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Literally nothing wrong with that. Because you know who else finished 8-9? The Chargers. They also finished 8-9. So you guys are tied for last. Again, wasn't high on the Chargers last year. I'm still not high on the Chargers. I still don't expect it. They got to the playoffs and just got shitted on. So it didn't really matter. Now I think they're going to do a little worse. That defense is getting up there in age. I mean, they lost Joey Bosa. You only have Khalil Mack, who's about 50 now. Derwin James is still good. I like the secondary. They're going to take you as far as Justin Herbert can take you. You lost your your star left tackle. You know, you wouldn't even have these problems if you would have drafted Brock Bowers in the first place. In the first place, you wouldn't even have this problem. But you get Keenan Allen back. That's great for Herbert. That'll be awesome. Ladd, I'm really high on Ladd. I think Ladd will be very good. Johnson sucks. Don't really care about him. Will Dissly is, man. Will Dissly. Like,
My king, Will Dissly.
Is your starting tight end. Like, I can't do this anymore, man. This is stupid. But, last.
Let's
tied
put
for
in
last.
Johnson stuff.
Quentin Johnston, I think he sucks. He's awful. You're a receiver,
He was
you can't
sneaky
catch. That's your
decent
only
last year.
job. And I got the Broncos getting second,
All right.
12-4. Might be a little high. I don't know. Corey probably got the Broncos winning like 14 games. So, but I think Bo Nix is going to be really good.
Actually,
Or
that was
12-5.
That was Will. That was glazing the Broncos.
I forgot. What am I doing? I forgot a game on here. Oh, they ain't beating the Bengals. Hell no. All right, so the 12-5. That's still not bad. They're going to make the playoffs, obviously. I really like the addition of Evan Ingram. They didn't have a tight end. They didn't have a set tight end last year. They were kind of throwing in like 3 different guys. Now you get a solidified good tight end going in there. Not saying great tight end, good tight end. Someone that's going to be over the middle of the field. He'll sit down and get him. He'll get you some good checkdowns. I don't know who the fuck's starting at running back for them. I hope it's JK. I really like JK. I want him to be starting because is it Harvey?
Yeah, RJ Harvey.
He's like the 4th on the depth chart right now.
Still got McLaughlin.
McLaughlin's still there. Yeah, you got Cortland Sutton. He's still going to be good. Like we all know, Cortland Sutton's going to be good. Is it Marvin Mims?
Yeah.
That's who they have. I like Marvin Mims. Got no problem with him. I wish they could go get maybe one more receiver, maybe a different receiver. But their defense is also very good. I think it's only going to get better. Surtain's coming off Depoy. I mean, everything with the Broncos screams them being contenders in the AFC right now. They were just missing that good quarterback, and Bo Nix is that. And I have your Kansas City Chiefs going 14-3. Not saying they're going to make the Super Bowl this year, but I think they're also going to do really well. It's the Chiefs. They're gonna win games. They're gonna use their fucking voodoo magic, and they're just gonna waltz into the playoffs. And that's my consensus on this division.
Fair enough. For me, fourth place, I got the Las Vegas Raiders, 6-11. I don't believe in Geno Smith. Tough division. A lot of tough games. Defense sucks. And I just think you're going to lose. You know, just a lot of tough games where you're just going to lose. I think I'm honestly I think I got bullied into giving them a few more wins, honestly.
I liked my 8 wins. I thought 8 wins was all right.
But we'll see. I think this is where my surprise will come in, though. In third, I have Denver at 9-8 at missing the playoffs. I'm just calling for a little bit of a sophomore slump with this offense. I still think the defense is going to be really good. I love Patrick Surtain. Love their defense. I just think I never saw Cortland Sutton as like a true number one. And I know they got Evan Ingram, so that should help a little bit with that. But like, I just don't think they're going to be able to hold up in this AFC down the stretch. I just don't think the offense is going to do enough. Not saying I think Bo Nix is going to be bad. I just don't think he's going to be able to do as much as he did last year down the stretch. I think defenses might be able to figure him out a little bit this year. In second, I got the Chargers. This is why we picked Joe Alt, guys. This is why we picked Joe Alt. Because now Rashawn Slater's gone. We just moved Joe Alt over to left tackle, and we'll be just fine. Still really believe in Justin Herbert, obviously. Grabbed Keenan Allen back, like we said. I think he'll be good. I don't think he's going to be like world-breaking or he's going to go back to getting 1,000 yards or anything. But I do think he'll take a little bit of pressure off of Lat McConkey. Maybe can come back and fucking help your boy Quentin Johnson out a little bit. Maybe he'll learn how to catch the ball. Defense, yeah, a little bit shaky. But they were like really good the first like 10 weeks of the year. They did fall off a little bit at the end there. So I still think they're going to be decent enough to get second in this division. And then obviously, yeah, KC. First, 13 wins. Powerhouse of the AFC. Patrick Mahomes. Blah, blah, blah. That's it.
Yeah. For me in fourth, I got the Chargers. At 9-8, though, I think they're still going to be a really good team. I think losing Slater to that injury, that really sucks for Chargers fans, especially because, you know, you're in a position where you're in the playoffs last year and the question marks come towards your quarterback, Justin Herbert, who I still believe is really good. So for him to not have his offensive line, a big offensive line piece going into this big season for the Chargers just kind of really sucks. I still think they'll be knocking on the door for the playoffs. You give him another weapon. I mean, a guy of that talent, Justin Herbert, like bring Keenan Allen back. You say what you want about him being older and not the same player he was last time he was on the Chargers. He's still another piece for a great quarterback. I think Lat McConkey's in for a big year. I don't know how much I believe in the running game. I felt like last year J.K. Dobbins gave them a ton. It kind of fell off a little bit towards the end of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like they kind of relied on that run game a lot, especially that's just kind of how Harbaugh's teams are. And I don't know if I'm fully bought in on Omarion Hampton for them yet. I think their defense is still going to be really good. Probably, yeah, I'm not a big Najee guy. I don't know.
I am not either.
They'll probably split maybe like a 60-40 situation, rely on Hampton. I think their defense is good. It's aging a little bit, but I think they have a good defense. We're talking about a 9-8 team. I just don't it played out for my thing. They were fourth, and the also 9-8 my Las Vegas Raiders were in third. I think I'm not here to like argue that I think the Raiders are this much better team than the Chargers. I really don't actually. I think the Chargers have a much better defense than us, even though I really like our pass rush with Crosby and Malcolm Koonce. Other than that, I probably would say the Chargers have a better defense. I just think that when you take a team like us, the Raiders, you already have the best 10 in the NFL, who had a crazy year last year. You add a new head coach and a new quarterback, and then you add a new running back to what was the worst run game in the NFL with a pretty good line too. I just see us taking a big leap, and I don't think 9-8 is really that much for the Raiders. Honestly, the big concern for me with my Raiders this year is just that we're in a tough division. And if we don't play in those divisional games well, like the Raiders usually do, like I was saying earlier, we won about 9 or 10 games in a row on the Broncos at one point. Now it's a different Broncos team now. And we've honestly played the Chiefs well, at least close all the time. I think we're going to play our division games well, and it'll take us to 9-8. I'm not trying to be unrealistic about the team. I really have a lot of question marks on the defense. I think there's some guys, Darian Porter, I think he could be a good corner for us. There's some young guys on the defense. There's some really old guys on the defense. We added Jamal Adams. He's going to play linebacker for us. He actually was kind of flying around in preseason, so that kind of got me going. I'm hoping he can make a little resurgence as a linebacker. It's one of Pete Carroll's guys. So sorry that if I'm over talking about my Raiders, but I don't know. I think we got a lot better, and it was worth talking about.
God.
We did get a lot better.
Ask about Will talking about your team. Ask Will about the Steelers. We'll be here for 30 fucking minutes.
At second place, who I do have better than the Raiders this year, I do think I have a splitting, though, is the Denver Broncos. Tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like in, like, NFL, like, media right now, the Broncos are, like, everyone's, like, that's, like, the sexy, like, team to talk about right now as, like, a team making a big jump to becoming maybe a contender. Like, I feel like everyone's high on the Broncos. I kind of agree with what you said, Nick, that I don't know if that offense is going to make a leap like it needs to really take that next jump. I think they're comfortably at least as good as they were last year, because last year they had an elite defense too. Like, they're comfortably that again. So, yeah, I think they're going to make the playoffs. Do I think they're going to win a playoff game? It fucking depends who they play. Like, people act like the Broncos are easily just like, oh, because it's another year and Bo Nix is not a rookie anymore, they're going to be this team who can win a playoff game. It depends on who they fucking play. They didn't get, like, extremely better. I think their running back room did get a little better, but Sean Payton's just going to use all his backs like always. And, yeah, Bo Nix is a sophomore now. Quarterbacks have a sophomore slump. And even last year when he was a rookie, he was relying on rolling out and making easy reads, stuff that he's been doing forever. And the guy's fucking 25 already. Like, this team, I don't see a big jump coming from them, but I do think their floor is really high, so I understand why everyone's high on them. That defense is nasty. Patrick Payne is a cornerback who's capable of winning Defensive Player of the Year. Like, dead ass. Like, he's that impactful. So they're nothing to joke about. I'm not trying to slight them, but I agree with you, Nick, about I just don't see a jump. Like, yeah, they're a playoff team, but if they get matched up with, if they're in the wild card, they're probably going to lose to me. Like, unless they're playing I think I don't even know who I had.
Like, they'd have to get the best wild card spot to play the Texans.
I had them versus the Texans or the Bengals, and they could lose both those games. Like, as good of a team as I think they're going to be. Anyways, I think they're just an interesting topic this year. Like, this division's fun. The Broncos are a really interesting topic. They're going to be a team I'm really watching closely to see if they did make a jump to be contenders. And then I have the Chiefs in first place. They're just a really good – they just find new ways to win games every single season. It's really impressive. I fucking hate the Chiefs. I hate Patrick Mahomes, but it's actually impressive how, like,
as you should,
they're getting back to the Super Bowl all the time, and they're also, like, they find new ways to win these regular season games. The craziest one last year, when we thought they were falling off, and then they blocked the field goal to beat the Broncos.
That was insane.
It's just like,
that was insane.
This team, I know Patrick Mahomes' passing yards aren't as high anymore as they used to be. He's not this, like, grenade launching quarterback that he once was. Maybe he has that, but, like, he's game managing. You saw Tom Brady even get to that. I don't think he's anywhere near Tom Brady, and Tom Brady still might go, but they're just one of those teams. Like, they got to be first place. But that's enough about the fucking Chiefs.
I mean, getting into mine, Raiders 8 and 9. I mean, I want to be higher because you're going from O'Connell to Geno, which is an upgrade. You're going from Alexander Madison and Zamir White to Genty, and then, like, Bowers, Jacoby Myers, like, new head coach, and Pete Carroll, who's proven. Like,
Trey Tucker.
Like, if they were in the AFC South, I think they'd finish second. But it's just because they're in this tough of a division to where I think they might need another offseason. And I feel like they have a core building, and they might need another offseason to really get that defense together and that defense right. And losing Christian Wilkins, having to cut him, that's obviously going to hit the defense hard. But I have them finishing 9 and 8 or 8 and 9. Chargers, kind of like what you talked about with the Broncos. I think the Chargers and Broncos are sneakily, like, two of the most overrated teams in the league right now. Like
Who, the Broncos and who?
I think the Chargers and Broncos are in conversations they maybe shouldn't be right now.
Your Chargers overrated? No.
I think the Chargers got worse defensively, big injury to the O-line. As much as I love Justin Herbert, I kind of agree with kind of the running game because you got like a big resurgence year from J.K. Dobbins, and then towards the back half of the year it fell off. But the O-line piece and them taking a hit on the O-line, you have to have a strong interior O-line in this, just in the NFL in general, and especially in this division with who you're playing. And I just think they're going to take a little bit of a step back. I have them at 10-7, not making the playoffs. And then I have the Denver Broncos, who I also agree with kind of the sneaky overrated. They are the sexy team, the hot take team right now to like make a run in the AFC. I don't really see it. I think they're going to be a really good regular season team. 11-6 is what I have them going. But I think when it comes down to it, expectations are a motherfucker for a team. And now you are the Broncos with zero expectations last year with Bo Nix, who a lot of people didn't even think was good at all. He's an older quarterback. A lot of people didn't think he was going to work out. A lot of people thought he was a bust. With zero expectations, he was able to go out there and perform with Sean Payton. Now the team has expectations. You have the reigning depoy. You're supposed to have this all-time, not all-time great, but top-end defense of the league, top 3 for sure. And then you're looking at Bo Nixon's his second year. Now he's not a rookie. What does he look like? But expectations can kill. And I think expectations, I still have them going 11-6, but we talked about their playoff matchup, and it depends on who they play. But I have a world where they kind of turn into like the Steelers in a way for years to come, to where their defense is kind of carrying them through the regular season, but they get to the playoffs and they get smoked depending on the matchup. Like, you're telling me they're going to go into Buffalo, into Baltimore. I just don't see it in winning a playoff game. I think their best matchup with them possibly going to Arrowhead and playing the Chiefs just because in division. But even then, everybody's like, I don't see them beating the Chiefs in a playoff situation. The Chiefs are not losing in the wild card as long as Patrick Mahomes is their quarterback. So that's just my take on the Broncos. I think I'm in between on them. I see the hype, but I also am like, we need to pipe it down a little bit because I still think that they're in a situation where they're good, yes, but let's see what they are with expectations on their name now instead of just no expectations and being able to sneak up on everybody.
Hey, was I mistaken? Did they give Surtain did win Defensive Player of the Year last year?
Yeah.
Okay, because I said he was like a Defensive Player of the Year level guy. I didn't realize he won it last year. To be completely honest, my fault. I was mistaken there.
No, and then KC.
I thought it was Myles Garrett for some reason. Anyways, keep going.
KC. I have KC going 11-6. They're tied with Denver, but I think they're going to beat Denver twice, and they're going to get the first in that division. I have a little bit weird because I just feel like a lot of these teams in the AFC, it's too talented. I think they're going to be up on each other a lot. Like I said, I agree with Cole. I don't think any team's going to be like 15 wins. Like we had multiple teams with over 13 wins last year. Like I don't think it's going to be a year like that. I think there's going to be a lot of parity. I could just see the Chiefs losing a couple more. Like this is a Chiefs team that was undefeated for so long last year. I feel like they can get unlucky in a couple of these games and some things can't break their way. Rashee Rice is going to be suspended, it looks like, at some point for however many games. Like that receiver room's still shaky. Hollywood Brown got hurt. The O-line's been kind of shaky the past couple of years. Defensively, they're still going to be stout. I have no doubt in Spags on that side of the ball. But maybe you get a better year from Kelsey. But you have still the best quarterback in football, in my opinion, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to making the game-winning plays.
Pacheco's back and healthy.
Yeah, you have Pacheco, and you kind of have more of a punch with him and Kareem Hunt because Kareem Hunt was really, really good for them last year when they did pick him up. So, you have a little bit more versatility in that backfield now. So, looking at that, I still have them going 11-6. I still think they're going to win the division. I can see them easily winning one more game above the Broncos, but I could just see them losing in maybe one or two more games compared. But we can get into the playoffs. We've already talked for a minute about these divisions, but football season starts soon, and I'm glad we always get to have a little bit longer of an episode of breaking down teams before the season. But we can get into the playoffs with who is the 2-7 matchup in the AFC for you guys?
My 2-7 is Ravens-Dolphins.
I got Jags at Chiefs.
2-7, you said? Sorry.
Yeah.
I think I'll take the Chiefs.
Mine is Raiders at Ravens.
I have Denver at KC for 2-7, and I have KC winning.
I have the Ravens beating the Dolphins.
Wait, which one's this one?
Yeah, I had
The 2-7.
Ravens beating Raiders.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs beating the Jags.
So then my 3-6 is Chiefs Denver, and I'm taking the Chiefs.
Okay.
I go Bills over Chargers for my 3-6. Yeah, wow.
I got the Bengals going into Buffalo and Buffalo beating them. Josh Allen beating Joe Burrow in the wild card.
I have 3-6. I have Steelers at Texans, and I have the Steelers with an upset. I think the O-line's going to fold for the Texans, and that defense for the Steelers is finally going to get. This is a perfect matchup for the Steelers to play the Texans, and I think that defense will get after them, and I think the Steelers would upset them on the road.
I got 4-5 is Texans Bengals, and I got the Bengals beating the Texans.
Same thing for me. Bengals beating Texans.
I got Broncos at Texans. I originally was going to pick the Broncos here, but when we were kind of talking about the AFC West, I'm actually going to – I got the Texans winning. I think Texans win a playoff game this year. They're going to beat the Broncos at home. Nico Collins, big-time playoff game.
I have the Bengals beating the Texans at home.
I just changed my mind. Texans are going to beat the Bengals.
So I have 4-5, which would be a crazy matchup for wild card. Bengals at Bills. And I have an upset. I have the Bengals going in and beating the Bills.
Wow.
And then, yeah, so mine, I can just go to the divisional. My 1-6 would be Ravens-Steelers, and I could already see the narratives around media being like, in division, Steelers play the Ravens well, the Ravens would just win. They would just win. Like, let's get over it. They're just going to beat the Steelers in the playoffs.
I thought you were leading up to something fucking crazy.
No.
I was like, are you serious?
I'll give them the win over the Texans, but there's no world where I think they beat the Ravens unless Lamar Lamar could just shit the bed. Like you never know in the playoffs.
So
but,
that was your 1-5.
Yeah, that was the 1-6 for my divisional.
Okay, so I thought
we were about to get a Bengals
yeah
Steelers AFC title game from Corey.
I was like, holy shit. So I got the Bills at home against the Bengals in the divisional, and I'm gonna go Bills, taking down the Bengals.
I got the Texans at Ravens, and I'm going Ravens. And fuck the AFC.
My 5-1 game is 4-1 game is Texans at Chiefs, and I got Chiefs.
And then on the opposite
Pretty
side
comfortably.
For mine, I have 2-5, and it's Chiefs and Bengals. They're bound to lose at some point. I don't think they're just going to get to the championship game every single year. And my title game for the AFC is Ravens and Bengals divisional game to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep. So then I have 3-2. It's Ravens, Chiefs, and I'm going to take the Ravens. So it's going to be Bills, Ravens in my AFC championship.
I got the Bills beating the Chiefs. So I got Ravens, Bills in the conference championship as well.
Do we all have the Ravens to the Super Bowl?
I'm taking the Ravens.
I'm also taking the Ravens.
I got Bills Ravens here in my divisional. This is game of the year right here, but I got Ravens beating the Bills. Lamar's getting his revenge for that Josh Allen MVP last year. So then are we on conference championship right now? Is everyone?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, I got Ravens going. Ravens beating the Chiefs. I got Ravens in the bowl.
I kind of want to be different and pick the Bengals, but I just don't. I can just
don't believe that.
I just don't believe it. I think the Ravens are going to get there this year. I think that defense is really, really good, and they're kind of tailored and made in that secondary to really shut down the Bengals offense. But I could just easily see a absolute classic in this game where the Bengals defense in that last drive just can't get a stop, and Lamar rushes for a first down and ends the game.
Yep.
And Burrow just has an insane, amazing year, kind of gets back to the title game. But we all have the Ravens going to the Super Bowl out of the AFC.
An hour and 20 just to all decide that we're choosing the Ravens.
Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
this is going to be part 1. Part 2 will also be up on the channel as well for the NFC side of things. But that's all we have for the AFC side. Thank you guys for tuning into the Barrel Talk podcast. Hope to see you tune in to future episodes.